Hello and welcome to Tangle and Inspire. I am cztaishATtangleandinspireDOTcom. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. I live in Pune, India, and these are my Zentangle lessons for you. So, you can grab your 3.5-inch cardstock, a micron pen, a pencil, and a tortillon for this project of Zentangle art. So for today's project, I have already drawn 4 dots on each corner and I have connected it with the pencil. We will be doing a monotangle, that is, we'll be using only one single tangle pattern for this lesson and explore the possibilities of the tangle. I hope you have a fun time along with me, and if you feel happy and want to share your art on Instagram or Facebook, you can tag me as Tangle and Inspire, or you can post your artwork on my Facebook group Tangle and Inspire Club. I'll be leaving all the links on the description below, so please do check in and let's get connected. So for this lesson, I want you to divide this portion of your tile with 3 parts. So I'm just making a random curves or a comma going in different direction. Now I am taking my micron PN pen. You can use your micron O1 pen or any size nib that you have. The only tangle today we are looking into is Nemo by Chrissie Frampton. This is a very beautiful, lovely grid pattern, and I have been trying to find ways to create an art out of this. So I'll be creating some grid patterns in the center. If you want, you can create your grid patterns in a horizontal way instead of diagonally. So after drawing this diagonal line, I turn my tile slowly and I do in the opposite direction. I slowly bring my pen down and reach it to the bottom. Thereafter, Chrissie has shown a seed-like pattern that starts on the diagonal side in each grid. So, let us create the seed pattern on the same sides on each of this grid. Just enjoy the pen creasing on the paper and the ink flowing. So now what I do is I take one of this grid and pull a seed like pattern and bring it down and rest it over this one, the diagonal one. So let us do the same thing on each of this. So you can see that as though there are three seed-like shape or a petal-like shape, one falling behind the other. Very slowly, gently, keep lifting your pen for each stroke. Breathe, relax, smile, be in your comfort. Now we'll turn the tile at 180 degree. Okay, and now let us do the same thing on the opposite side. So I start from the top and I bring it down very slowly. Just relax yourself. I just see to that if I have missed any sides, and I go on and complete it. So if you look carefully, this is the one grid that we had, okay, and we have put seeds in the center diagonally, and then on the left top, and then from the right to below. Okay, so now what we do is we create small little meta patterns inside this shape. So I create a small triangle like shape, and then I put an orb in the center and then fill the gaps. Just very slowly, one step at a time. we create this beautiful art. Once again, I create this triangle on both the sides. I add an orb and then add ink to the corners. Let us do it for all the grids we have here. Just slowly pay attention. Bring back your focus just on this little piece. So when we talk about focus, in India we often relate it to a story or an episode from the Mahabharata. It talks about 5 brothers going into a Gurukul ashram to learn about archery, education, science, medicines, and everything. One of the brothers, Arjuna, was a skilled archer. He was gifted and he was trained by his master, and he was the favorite of all the 5 brothers. One day, the master asked the students to hit a eye of a wooden bird that was hanging on the tree. All the kids joined the group and wanted to prove their master that it was possible for them, that they are experienced. Master then, one by one, asked those kids to come and stand before him. While the kids opened their bow and arrow and began to aim at the bird, the master would silently whisper in their ears and ask them, "What do you see?" The great prince would answer that, "I see a tree." The master wasn't satisfied, and then another prince or the kid would come across, and once again the master would ask the kid again, "What do you see?" The second kid replied, "I see a tree, a bird, and the clouds moving. I see everything around." This did not satisfy the master, and the master would ask the kid to go back. The kids were not allowed to even attempt until a satisfactory answer came from Arjuna. When Arjuna was asked by the master what he sees, he said, "I see only the eye of the bird." The master asked him, "Do you see the tree?" He said, "No, I can't see." "Do you see the branch?" He said, "No, I can't see." "Do you see the leaves?" "No, I can't see." The master was happy. He smiled. He said, "Okay, go ahead and give the shot." And right across Arjuna, with his focus and his trained mind and a brain, he was easily able to hit the bird's eye. This tale has been going around from time and again, and it has been passed on to all of us. Today, when we are tangling on this little piece of Zentangle art, we are remembered about this relaxed focus way. So now, here I complete the center portion of this tangle. So let us look into more different ways to put this tangle pattern. So I am going to create few more grids here. I just felt maybe I didn't explain myself so well, that what was the relation or how I find the relationship between the tangling and the story of Arjuna. So let us dive into that again. So the story of Arjuna reminds us of a focused mind. Similarly, when we are tangling and we see lot of grid patterns or lines, pens, pencils everywhere, we often lose our focus. We do not understand which grid we are tangling or what ways we are going. For this, we need a certain amount of practice, so that gives us a focused mind. Secondly, we also need to just pay attention to that stroke. That is the reason Zentangle Art also came up with the tagline, one stroke at a time, which is quite equal to one step at a time. So when we are just focused on that one stroke of art, we are as focused as the Arjuna who could see only the eye and not even the bird. So now what I do is I start in the similar way. I start on each side and drop it on the diagonal seed. I'll just focus on this little part and just keep coming. Once I have done all these seeds and the 2 steps, I'll turn over and repeat the same process. Just one step at a time. We try to complete this tile. So for this section, what we do is we can create a tangle pattern in the center. We can put our own favorite designs on the seeds, or you can say over the seeds. Let us do all seeds one by one in the center. Isn't it fun putting little bit of designs on the little tiles? Just paying attention to one piece or one fragment and filling it up. So when I shared about the story, it is very clear that a focused mind is very essential to do any of the activity in our life. Zentangle brings that focused mind as a practice. Daily, trying to give about 15 to 20 minutes to relax and focus on this attention or this meditative art is really been very helpful to me. I feel often thankful for all the great sages and saints and all the masters of the world to share their little experiences. A simple but a very important one. I personally feel that to find joy in your art or any activity, focus plays a lot of role. So now let us tangle this section of the tile. So let us now create one seed in the diagonal. So by now you are quite experienced of this tangle, but we are going to change little bit of tangle base here. Instead of drawing all the seeds in the diagonal side or the one side of diagonal from right to left, I am going to do one right to left and reflect the opposite side. Or you can say it is like a reflection of this. Just very slowly. So if my seed goes from left to right over here, and then it starts from the top left to the right bottom. Similarly, I'll draw the seed in the opposite direction. You can watch me or you can slow the video and then follow along this. If this is your first time or the first few times that you have come and joined me in the tangling, you can really pause the video and follow the class. I see a flower-like shape on all the sides. Just very slowly add the seeds. In the opposite direction. The half seed starts from the left to the right or the bottom left, and the other one goes from on this side. Let us do the same thing over here. And I do it here. So you can watch me as I complete this section one stroke at a time. So now I think of ways to play with this fragment. So I choose one of the fragment and just start adding on the left side of it. Just start adding lines. Then I turn my tile and I look at the 4 squares and do the same thing on again on the left side. Once again, I just imagine that the lines are there. And here again, I do the same thing. I each time rotate my tile and put those lines. So once the 4 grids are done, I'll just mimic the alternate tangle or the alternate grid. So I kept imagining and started adding the lines alternatively. This could be a little difficult uh, for the first timers to do, but you can slow down and you can plan your tile. So I'm just playing with the fragments here. Let us now put some shading onto our tile. I would like to shade a simple stroke, put some graphite on these curves. Here again. Now let us put shading onto the grids of this side. Just simple shading over the grids. I'll take my tortillon and then shade over the grid pattern. I take my pencil and then put little bit of pencil shading on the below of these diagonal curves. And then very lightly shade it. Now for this kind of tile, I would like to put shading in the outside of each pattern. Just trying to go the opposite ways as suggested. And then slowly smoothen this graphite. I take beginner's class for Zentangle art, and I also give many advanced classes where you learn more about the techniques, the tangles, lots and lots of tips and tricks to make your art more and more beautiful. You can contact me on Instagram or Facebook or through my email ID at cztaishATtangleandinspireDOTcom, and I can give an individual class if you want so. That would be really wonderful, and this way you can be a little bit part of my Zentangle community, and where I share many things with my students. So I take a bit more time and shade on the corners. I'll put my graphite again and just give that unique C shape to that. Just very slightly. I can do that as many times as I want. So that helps me in distincting the 3 strings we did today. So I hope you enjoyed this class along with me. Put your initials and let us write down the tangle name Nemo by Chrissie Frampton. You can find this Tangle pattern at tanglepatterns.com as well. Thank you for joining me today.